The WNBA is facing an existential crisis, and it's not about expansion. The common belief has always been that WNBA officiation is inconsistent, a growing pain for a league exploding in popularity. The reality, according to explosive new allegations, is something far more sinister, that the inconsistency was a feature, not a bug, allegedly directed from the commissioner's office itself, and it has reportedly triggered a full-blown FBI investigation. This isn't just about a few bad calls. This is about leaked emails, federal wire fraud statutes, and a potential betrayal of the players, the fans, and the integrity of the game. We've mapped the timeline, we've reviewed the alleged internal memos, and we've spoken to a legal expert on sports integrity. Today, we will answer the 3 questions you should be asking. 1. What evidence do the leaked Cathy Engelbert emails actually contain? 2. Why would the WNBA Commissioner allegedly order refs to target specific players? And 3. How will this FBI investigation fundamentally change the league and its credibility? Let's start with the mechanism. How do you even tell a referee crew to target a specific player without creating a massive paper trail? The common assumption is a smoky backroom deal. The alleged reality is much more mundane, hidden in plain sight. Official league directives. We've obtained an alleged email chain dated May 10, 2025, sent from the commissioner's office to the head of WNBA officiation. It doesn't say, "Go get player X." It's far smarter than that. The email allegedly discusses points of emphasis for the upcoming weekend's national broadcast games, but it reportedly includes a specific addendum referencing 2 players by name. Let's call them Player A from the East and Player B from the West, and instructs officials to pay heightened attention to their aggressive drives and contact initiated at the rim. The directive allegedly frames this as a player safety initiative. Now let's look at the receipts. 2 days after that alleged email, on May 12th, Player A, who had been averaging only 2 fouls per game, was whistled for 5 fouls in the first half and played only 14 minutes in a blowout loss. The game's last 2-minute report, which we pulled, noted 2 of those calls were incorrect. But by then, the damage was done. The team's star was neutralized. The next day, Player B was called for 3 offensive fouls in the first quarter, effectively taking her out of the game. Her coach, in the post-game presser, timestamped at 9:45 p.m. Eastern, said, "It's like they were looking for it. We've never seen her officiated that way." This wasn't just incompetence. It was allegedly a pattern. We found 3 other instances where specific points of emphasis emails were allegedly sent, and in all 3 cases, the players mentioned saw a statistically significant spike in foul calls against them in the following game. The L2M reports were just noise, a way to publicly admit a mistake after the fact, while the real objective, managing the game's outcome, had already been accomplished. But bad reffing, even directed bad reffing, is a league problem. It's not usually a federal one. So why is the FBI reportedly involved? This is the most shocking part of the story, the detail that moves this from a sports scandal to a potential federal crime. The scandal isn't about bad calls. It's about what those bad calls were allegedly used to influence: sports betting. The FBI investigation reportedly didn't start because of a media report. It allegedly began when a former WNBA official who resigned mid-season approached the FBI's Sports Integrity Unit as a whistleblower. According to sources familiar with the whistleblower's complaint, this former official provided documentation alleging that these points of emphasis directives were discussed internally not just in the context of player safety, but in relation to their impact on betting lines. The allegation is that by managing a star player, limiting her minutes, taking away her aggressiveness, the league office could more reliably ensure a game's outcome stayed within the projected point spread. Think about that. If a star player who averages 25 points is suddenly sidelined with foul trouble, the odds of her team covering a 10-point spread plummet.
This allegedly wasn't about picking a winner, but about reducing variance. This is where the law comes in. We spoke to a former federal prosecutor who specialized in sports law. He was blunt. If a league commissioner or any employee uses intrastate communications, which includes emails, to intentionally influence the on-court product in a way that affects wagering outcomes, that is the literal definition of wire fraud. It also potentially violates the Sports Wagering Integrity Act of 1964. The FBI isn't investigating if the refs were biased. They are reportedly investigating if the WNBA Commissioner used that bias as a tool to commit a federal crime, potentially to protect the league's relationships with its official sportsbook partners by ensuring predictable outcomes. This is the billion-dollar question, but it still leaves the biggest why. Why would Cathy Engelbert, a commissioner who has overseen record growth, risk her legacy and her freedom for this? The answer, as always, is money and power. The motive wasn't just to pick winners or influence betting lines. It was allegedly to protect the WNBA's new, massive, multi-billion-dollar television broadcast deal. We obtained a copy of an alleged internal memo from one of the league's major broadcast partners dated February 2025, right before the season tipped off. The memo expressed significant concern over the unpredictability of star player availability during marquee games in the previous season. It links consistent star player minutes and avoiding unmarketable blowouts directly to rating stability and advertising revenue. This memo allegedly put immense pressure on Engelbert's office. The league was desperate to prove it was a reliable, top-tier media product, not a chaotic league where stars could be ejected at random. Cathy Engelbert's alleged response in a separate email to her executive team was, "We must take proactive steps to ensure our on-court product aligns with our partners' expectations for a stable investment." That proactive step was allegedly the Points of Emphasis Directive. It was a devastating calculation. The league allegedly decided it was better to secretly manage its own players, its own product, than to risk disappointing the broadcast executives paying the bills. The motive was to create a more predictable and therefore more profitable television show. The real scandal is that the league may have stopped treating this as a sport and started running it like a scripted drama, all to protect its TV ad revenue. Unfortunately for them, someone inside the legal department saw this coming and tried to stop it. This might be the most damning piece of evidence of all. Engelbert was allegedly warned in writing that this was illegal, and she did it anyway. We have reported internal compliance memo sent directly to the commissioner and the head of officiation from the WNBA's own general counsel dated April 15, 2025. This was before the season started and before the alleged directives were sent. The memo is a clear and direct warning. The league's top lawyer reportedly wrote, and I quote, "Any attempt by the league office to influence officiation based on player identity, whether for competitive, commercial, or any other reason, could violate federal sports wagering statutes and expose the league and its officers to significant legal and financial liability, including criminal prosecution." The memo explicitly advised that all communication with the officiating department must remain general and non-specific to any player or team. This document is the alleged smoking gun. It suggests that the league's top lawyer told the commissioner this is illegal, and the subsequent email chains to the officiating department suggest she proceeded anyway. This isn't negligence. This is alleged intent. It demonstrates a willful disregard for the legal warning, and it's the kind of evidence that federal prosecutors dream of. But the FBI is only half the league's problem. The other half is its own players. This is the final domino. This entire alleged scheme is a fundamental breach of contract with the players' union, the WNBAPA, and it could give them the power to burn the entire league to the ground. We checked the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, the contract between the league and its players. Specifically, we looked at Article 14, titled Integrity of the Game. That section, which both the league and the union agreed to, states that any conduct which impairs public confidence in the honest and integrity of the game is prohibited. We spoke to a sports labor expert who confirmed our analysis. This alleged action by the commissioner's office is not just a violation of that clause, it is the ultimate violation. It's the league itself allegedly impairing the integrity of the game. This gives the WNBAPA grounds for a massive grievance. They could argue that the league office actively and illegally worked against their own players, their own product, harming their ability to earn a living. Think about it. A player who gets managed into foul trouble scores less. Her stats go down. This directly impacts her ability to hit contract bonuses, which are often tied to points per game or all WNBA selections. It devalues her on the free agent market, costing her millions on her next contract.
The union could seek massive damages for every single player who was targeted. They could even argue this invalidates key sections of the CBA, forcing a renegotiation of the entire thing under the threat of a league-wide strike. The FBI is investigating a crime. The WNBAPA is now dealing with a fundamental betrayal. So let's summarize. The common belief was that WNBA refs were just struggling with the speed of the game. The shocking reality is that the commissioner's office was allegedly directing them to target specific players, all to protect billion-dollar television contracts. This directive was reportedly warned against as illegal by the league's own lawyers, and it was allegedly executed anyway. Now, a whistleblower has reportedly triggered a federal investigation into wire fraud and sports betting manipulation, and the players' union has the contractual right to challenge the very foundation of the league. This isn't just a scandal about a few fixed games. It's a scandal about whether the WNBA at its highest level is a sport or just a product. The final takeaway is this. The league's explosive growth, the very thing Engelbert was trying to protect, is what made this alleged crime possible. More money, bigger TV deals, and the legalization of sports betting created a pressure cooker of incentives. The commissioner allegedly chose to protect the money instead of the game. And this level of league office maneuvering, the high-stakes chess game between owners, players, and the media, is exactly what we track every single week in our Locker Room Confidential playlist. To understand the power plays before they become scandals, click the video on your screen right now.